You're listening to a News OK podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the News OK Comics Podcast, hosted at Planet46.com. I'm Matt Price. This is Kyle Roberts.
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting news today. Spider-Man is cast.
That's right. We've got a new Spider-Man. It is Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
What do you think of him?
I like him. You know, you may know him from the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, or however you say that.
That's right.
It's a weird title and a weird movie.
Yeah.
But it is a fun movie, and he did a great job in it.
Yeah, that's good. So you think he's got what it takes to be Spider-Man?
I think so. I mean, he wasn't a very heroic superhero in that movie. But at the same time, you know, Spider-Man's not this big, strong, buff guy either. Mm-hmm. But he seems like a great actor, and I think he'll do a good job.
I've got a montage of some clips up at my blog.newsok.com/nerd if you want to see what Andrew Garfield looks like in some other films. He was also in Lions for Lambs, and he'll be in the upcoming movie The Social Network, directed by David Fincher.
Yep. Also, Comic-Con news. Smallville's back.
Comic-Con news is starting to come out, and what we know right now, there will be a big Smallville panel on Sunday. Tom Welling, who plays Clark Kent, will return to Comic-Con, as will Erica Durant, who plays Lois Lane, Cassidy Freeman, who plays Tess Mercer, and Justin Hartley, who plays Oliver Queen, a.k.a. Green Arrow. So they'll be there 10 to 11 a.m., Ballroom 20, San Diego Convention Center. If it's anything like last year, be prepared to get in line and stand there for a while. There was a lot of people at that thing.
Very cool. And then some X-Men news. X-Men's First Class, Beast and Banshee are both going to be in it.
Yeah, both of those have, according to Variety, have been cast, with Caleb Landry Jones cast as Banshee, and then Nicholas Hoult playing the Beast.
Yeah, and a younger Beast, right?
Yeah, well, obviously they're going to be dialing the whole thing back in time. So I think if you look at sort of the X-Men 2-3 timeline, these characters are all going to be younger. There's still talks that they're going to bring in a younger Cyclops. There's a rumor that could be Aaron Johnson from Kick-Ass. There's a rumor they may bring in Havoc. So it's going to be all these characters dialed back and played at sort of a younger version. Also, some Superman comics news. Lex Luthor is going to meet death. I don't think they're going to kill him. But the death character from Sandman is going to come into the Action Comics storyline as Lex Luthor is on his quest for power. Paul Cornell asked the creator of the death character in Sandman, Neil Gaiman, if he could use the character. He said yes. So there we go. That's coming up in Action Comics 894.
Very cool. Let's dig into the review file.
Exactly. All right. So we've got X-Men, which is one of your favorite things.
I love X-Men.
We've got vampires, which is one of your not most favorite things. So it's sort of like somebody poured lemonade in your cereal.
Something like that. I'm not sure what that means, but exactly.
So it's X-Men #1 relaunch with Victor Gischler and Paco Medina. You're our resident expert. Kind of give me a taste of what you thought there.
I mean, I do. I like this comic. I like that Jubilee's kind of making a comeback back in it. And you know, some crazy stuff has gone on in X-Men life so far.
Yeah.
Some really drastic stuff, and so I guess it's kind of a glimpse into the future of some kind of light in their future, and then all of this vampire stuff starts happening. And so I'm not sure exactly where they're going with this. Maybe it's because of the whole Twilight, you know, type stuff going on, and so they're taking the vampire play on it as well. But I'm not a huge vampire fan, so I'm not totally digging it, but I do like the story and all of that.
I found it a little confusing that this came out before the end of Second Coming, which happens next week, but sometimes that's just how these things work out, I guess. Neil Adams is back in Batman Odyssey, the big-time Batman artist of the 60s and 70s. His writing, drawing, inking, coloring, everything.
Absolutely.
Batman Odyssey. Really liked the art. I wouldn't have minded if he'd brought in somebody to help with the dialogue. It's a little wordier than what I felt like maybe Batman should be.
It needs to be.
So that said, I enjoyed it. It's great to see Neil Adams back on the book, and I'll probably follow it just because of the fantastic art. But just that maybe I would have preferred a little bit different take on some of the dialogue.
I agree. Very wordy.
Yeah. And then on the third one we'll look at, Steve Rogers in his own book, in his own miniseries, Steve Rogers, Super Soldier #1. Ed Brubaker, who writes the Captain America book, and then Dale Eaglesham, who's seen on JSA and some other stuff. I think this is one of Dale Eaglesham's best artistic turnouts yet. The guy's getting better and better. And then also Brubaker, I think, puts together a nice story. So
yeah, and I'm loving this too. I think it's a unique, fun way of almost doing an origin story without, you know, clearly stating here's an origin story.
It allows you to flash back and see some of that stuff. So if you aren't familiar with it, you get sort of caught up in the context of the story.
And still having a full-on story of its own. It's cool.
So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And in fact, I'll make that my pick of the week.
Sweet. Any others you want to mention?
We could also talk about X-Women. Milo Manara, who does sort of the racy European comics, but is a fantastic artist, does a one-shot with Chris Claremont. Second Coming continues in X-Force 28 as the big finale of that's next week. Shadowland is Marvel's given a big push to this. This is Daredevil sort of created his own area in Hell's
Dark
Kitchen.
team.
Yeah, and he's leading the hand. So there's supposed to be a big battle for New York. Lots of characters like the Punisher, Moon Knight, Spider-Man all involved. They're giving it a big push. I enjoyed the first one all right. We'll see where it goes.
Cool.
Batman and Robin continues to be fantastic. This was a great issue, also featuring the Joker. New creator-owned one from Brian Michael Bendis, Scarlet. So if you like some of the Bendis more crimey creator-owned type stuff, you might want to check this out. And then Star Wars Old Republic. If you like the Star Wars video game or the old school Jedi stuff, that's what that's about.
Very cool.
Quite a bit of stuff to run down.
They got an at in the back.
Yeah, well, you always want to add. So anyway, that's what we got this week. Come back next week for more comic book and movie news. So for Kyle Roberts, I'm Matt Price. Thanks for watching.